Hey, welcome back, guys. So today on this video, we are talking about Typeform, and more specifically, I'm going to quickly answer a question I keep getting a lot on my other video, and that is, how do you create a lead form in Typeform? So let's go ahead and talk about this. First off, guys, real quick video, not too many steps involved, so be sure to stick around to the end of the video. But why would you want to create a lead form in Typeform anyways? Well, that's pretty easy. If you're running an online business, maybe running ads, you know it's important to have a high converting lead form, and Typeform is a popular way to do that. Whatever the case is, it's a pretty easy process. It's handled here in your Typeform account. Check my video description. I'll try to leave the written instructions there as well. But I've already signed into my Typeform account, and this is the home screen. Now here on the home screen, if you want to go ahead and create a lead form, here on this top menu, make sure you click on Forms. There's 3 options. Once you do that, it's going to bring you to this page, and you want to click here, Create a New Form. Now, if you already have forms set up like I do, you can easily just duplicate it. So off to the right here, you're going to click on these 3 little dots, and then you can click on Duplicate. But today we're going to go ahead and create a new lead form. So I'm going to click here, Create a New Form. Okay, when you're creating a lead form inside of Typeform, you have these 3 options. So you can start from scratch. So basically you're starting with a clean plate. If you have a lot of experience, you might want to go ahead and do with that. However, for me, it just takes a lot longer to set that up. So if you have the questions that you want set up in your Typeform, you can go ahead and import those from a Google Forms, or you can do what I do and create with AI. So basically AI is going to ask you some questions, and then it's going to set up the framework for your lead form. So let me go ahead and click here. Okay, next you need to choose, do you want AI to be used to create all forms or just for the lead qualification forms? So for me, I'm going to go ahead and use all forms. Okay, so now AI is going to ask you through a series of questions, so that way they can create your lead form. So describe the goal of your form. So for example, if we are a Chinese restaurant, maybe we want our customers to go ahead and reply on the types of products that they like us to sell in a restaurant. So let me go ahead and type that in. Okay, so I just put in there that we are a Chinese restaurant. I want to know what types of menu items are preferred for our customers. Also, I want to know what level of salt and spiciness is preferred for them. So I'm going to click on Continue. Okay, so a few questions or topics that we're including. So Chinese menu items, level of salt, level of spiciness. Okay, so I put in there Chinese menu items, level of salt, level of spiciness, what types of seats and tables are preferred. Okay, let me click Continue. Okay, so now they're asking about this business. So let me go ahead and type in a little blurb. Okay, I just said that we are a Chinese food business located in Miami, Florida that specializes in catering and hosting large parties like birthdays and weddings. Okay, so now you want to click on Generate Questions. Okay, so now we have a framework for our Typeform. So basically it set up these 4 questions here on the top. So what type of Chinese menu items do you like? And it came up with 15 different options. So they can go ahead and just type in their answer. Or what they can do is they can click on this drop down and they can choose between dumplings, spring rolls, Kung Pao chicken, General Tso's chicken, all of that. So that was all created with AI, which is pretty good. And then after they fill that out, the second question is going to be, how would you rate your preferred level of saltiness in your dishes? So they can go ahead and choose there. And then spiciness is going to be this one. They can choose between A and E, multiple choice. And then question number 4, what type of seating arrangement do you prefer for large parties like birthdays and weddings? And it came up with 6 options that they can choose from: round tables, long banquet tables, booths, outdoor seating, mix of different types. So the cool thing about Typeform is you can go ahead and edit this as well. So for example, what types of Chinese menu items do you prefer? Maybe we want to go ahead and say Chinese food. We just click in there and type, and then we can also edit the choices. So maybe we want to go ahead and add in burritos and tacos. Okay, and then we'll click on Save Choices. Also, the questions up here, you can go ahead and change the order of these. So maybe I want to ask them about their seating preference first. So all I'm going to do is just grab this one and just drag it right to the top, and it changes it up to question number 1. So this is just a framework, and you can actually add in more questions and more information. So for example, maybe I want to go ahead and gather their phone number. So I can click here, Add Content, and just look through the different options. So we'll choose phone number, and you can see that once they filled out the seating type, it's going to ask them for their phone number. And maybe I want to do the phone number last. I can go ahead and drag the phone number down, and that'll be the last question. And so we added phone number. So let me go ahead and add that, give them some instructions. Give me your phone number. Okay. Now maybe we made a mistake and we don't want one of these questions to show up, or maybe we don't want to ask for the phone number. You can click on these 3 dots next to each section and then delete. And now you can see that section has been deleted. Now you want to see what this looks like on a cell phone or a mobile. You can click right here, mobile, and this is what it's going to look like on a mobile. So also you can do some branding on this as well. So maybe we don't like this question to be in black. Maybe we want it to be in red. Off here to the right, you can change the color. So let's go ahead and maybe add it as orange. That looks pretty good. So you can see it applies to all of the questions. So now all questions are in red. And now once you've set up your Typeform, where do you want them to go after they've submitted everything? That's going to be handled down here on the bottom left. And endings. So we can go ahead and choose an ending type. So maybe you're going to ask them to buy something, or maybe you're going to redirect them to your menu. If you're a Chinese food restaurant, you can click right here. Okay. And then you just simply add in your URL. Okay. So once you've set up your Typeform the way that you like it, don't forget to rename it. So up here on the right, it says my branded Typeform. Just click there. Okay. Now we want to change this. So this is for Chinese level spiciness. Okay. And save. And you're not quite done until you publish it, which is going to be this button here on the top right. Okay. Now it's going to let you, it's published right down here at the bottom. So if we go back here to our workspace, okay, once we click on workspace, we can click on forms here on the top left, and we're going to see our Typeform right here, Chinese level spiciness. So you can see this is published. And if you want to get the link to this particular Typeform, click on these three dots. All right. Once you do that, click on copy link. Okay. Now you can go ahead and share your lead form or your Typeform. So there you have it, guys. If you're wondering how to set up a lead form, Typeform, that's the easiest way I know how to do it. If you know an easier way, be sure to leave a comment below. Let the rest of us know how you did it. Hopefully you found that video useful. If so, click thumbs up, or maybe consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.
Bad man, son.
forms and surveys like this. So signups feel effortless, feedback gets better, and payments come faster. Integrate with all your favorite apps for smoother workflows and results that start looking like this. Make powerful forms that get you more data with Typeform.
In today's tutorial, I'll be walking you through how to get started with Typeform, a powerful tool that helps you create online forms, quizzes, surveys, and more. Whether you're looking to collect customer feedback, run a marketing campaign, or gather information from your audience, Typeform makes the process super easy. So let's dive right into it. To begin using Typeform, go ahead and visit their website. Once you're on the homepage, you'll see an option to sign up at the top right corner of the page. You can sign up using your email, Google account, or Microsoft account. I'll go ahead and sign up with Google because it's quick and easy. Once you're signed in, you'll be taken to your dashboard. Here, you can manage your forms, surveys, and everything else. Typeform provides you with several features to organize your work efficiently, whether you're working alone or in a team. When you first log in, you'll notice that you have workspaces. These are essentially areas where you can group your different projects and forms. For example, you can create a workspace specifically for your marketing campaigns, another for customer surveys, and so on. To create a new workspace, just click on the Create Workspace button, and you'll be able to name it based on what kind of project you're working on. Typeform also lets you upgrade to premium plans if you need additional features or the ability to create multiple workspaces. But for now, let's stick to the default workspace to keep things simple. Now, let's dive into the exciting part, building your very first form. To kick things off, simply click on Create New Form. Typeform provides 3 distinct methods for creating your form, each catering to different needs. Start from scratch. This option gives you complete freedom to design a form tailored to your specific needs. You'll be able to manually add each question and design it the way you want. Import existing questions. If you've already created forms or surveys in the past, this feature allows you to bring in pre-written questions from those. It's a great time saver if you're reusing content. Create with AI. Not sure where to begin? Typeform has a smart AI-powered tool that can quickly generate a form for you based on a few simple prompts. This is perfect for those in a rush or anyone looking for a little inspiration. For this guide, I'll go with Start from Scratch so I can walk you through the process of building a form from the very beginning. It's a great way to understand the platform and get familiar with its various customization options. Let's get started. Once you've selected to start from scratch, the next step is to give your form a name. This is your chance to get creative and make it clear what your form is about. For example, if you're creating a form for people to sign up for your newsletter, you can name it something straightforward like Join Our Newsletter or Subscribe to get updates. Next, you'll be prompted to choose the type of form you want to create. Typeform offers a variety of templates for different purposes, including registration forms, perfect for collecting participant details for events or programs. Quizzes, great for engaging users with fun, interactive content. Polls, simple and effective for gathering quick opinions or feedback. Payment forms, ideal for e-commerce or collecting payments directly. Order forms, useful for customers to place orders for products or services. For this example, we'll select a registration form since we're focusing on collecting signups for the newsletter. It's a simple yet effective way to gather contact details while keeping things organized. Once you've selected your form type, you're all set to start customizing your questions and design. On the left side of your screen, you'll find a panel where you can add questions. Typeform offers a range of question types to suit your needs, such as multiple choice, short text, email, phone number, and even rating questions. To start, let's add an email question since collecting email addresses is essential for a newsletter subscription. Click on the email option, and a field will pop up where you can enter your question. A simple prompt like "Please enter your email address" will work perfectly. You can also make this field required, ensuring that no one can submit the form without filling it in. For extra clarity, you can even add a description to explain why you're collecting this info, making users feel more comfortable. Next, let's add a short text question for the subscriber's name. This allows you to personalize your emails later, which helps build stronger connections with your audience. A question like "What's your name?" works well. As you continue building your form, feel free to mix in other question types. For instance, a phone number field could be useful for follow-up communications, or a rating question could gather feedback on a product or service. The beauty of Typeform is its flexibility. Whether you're collecting basic details or running in-depth surveys, you can create forms that are perfectly suited to your specific goals. Once you've added all your questions, it's time to focus on making your form visually appealing. Typeform offers plenty of customization options to ensure your form reflects your brand's identity. On the right-hand panel, you'll find a variety of design settings where you can adjust the font, colors, and overall layout of your form. You can also upload your logo to personalize the form further and select a background color that complements your branding. If you're using a premium account, you'll have even more control over your form's design. For instance, you can upload your brand style guide, ensuring that every form you create across Typeform matches your business's consistent look and feel. This feature is particularly useful if you're running multiple forms for different campaigns, as it guarantees all your forms are aligned with your brand's aesthetics. Additionally, you can explore custom themes, which allow you to apply a unified style across various forms, saving you time while maintaining professionalism. With these design tools, you can create forms that not only collect information but also reflect the quality and style of your business, making your forms visually engaging for respondents. Typeform also offers a powerful feature called Logic Jumps, which allows you to tailor the flow of your form based on the responses your users provide. This means that depending on how someone answers a particular question, the next set of questions can automatically change. For instance, if a user selects yes to a question asking whether they're interested in a product, you could set up the form to display a follow-up question asking them for more details. On the other hand, if they select no, you can skip over those questions and move on to a different part of the form. To set up a logic jump, simply click on the question you want to apply the logic to, then navigate to the Logic tab. Here, you can specify the conditions for how responses will influence the flow of the form. You might ask, for example, "Are you a current customer?" If they answer yes, you can send them to a different set of questions asking for specific feedback. Logic jumps make your form more dynamic, engaging, and relevant to each user's unique input, enhancing the overall user experience and ensuring that you collect the most relevant information from each respondent. Once you're satisfied with the content and design of your form, it's time to give it a final check before publishing. Typeform makes this easy with a preview feature. Simply click the preview button located at the top of the screen, and you'll be able to see exactly how your form will appear to your users. You can go through the questions yourself, ensuring the flow is smooth and all the logic jumps work as intended. Additionally, Typeform allows you to switch between desktop and mobile views. This is incredibly useful, as forms need to be responsive and look great on any device. Make sure your form is visually appealing and functional, whether it's being viewed on a smartphone, tablet, or desktop computer. If you notice anything that needs adjusting, you can easily return to the editor and make changes. Testing across devices ensures a seamless experience for your users, no matter where they're filling out your form. This step is crucial in making sure your form is user-friendly and ready for a wide audience. Once your form is polished and ready to go, sharing it with your audience is a breeze. Typeform offers several options to get your form out there, depending on how you want to reach people. You can start by copying the form's unique link and sharing it via email or posting it on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. This method is simple and effective for a wide audience. If you'd like to make the form even more accessible, you can embed it directly on your website. Typeform lets you choose how you want it to appear, inline, as a pop-up, or even as a sliding form. Embedding it this way allows your visitors to fill out the form without having to leave your site, which can improve response rates. For those who prefer mobile-friendly sharing, Typeform also gives you the option to create a QR code linked to your form. This is especially useful for offline events or physical marketing materials. You can also send a direct email link to your subscribers. With all these sharing options, Typeform ensures that your form is easy to distribute, no matter how you choose to connect with your audience. One of the standout features of Typeform is its seamless integration with a variety of external tools, which significantly enhances its functionality. If you're using platforms like Shopify, Zapier, Google Sheets, or MailChimp, you can easily link your Typeform forms with these services. For instance, you can set up a Zap in Zapier to automatically send form responses to a Google Sheet for easy tracking, or even push the data to your MailChimp account to update your email lists.
A portfolio is an essential part of UX design. That's one of the first things that an employer will look at.
To start setting up integrations, simply click on the Integrate button in Typeform's interface. A menu will pop up with a range of popular services to connect with. Once you select the platform you want to integrate, Typeform will guide you through the process with step-by-step instructions. This makes it incredibly easy to automate your workflows and save time by ensuring that your forms sync effortlessly with your other tools, whether it's for updating a customer database, triggering email campaigns, or analyzing data in a spreadsheet. These integrations are a game-changer for streamlining your processes, so you can focus more on growing your business instead of manually transferring data across platforms. Once you've shared your form and begun receiving responses, it's time to dive into tracking and managing the data. Typeform offers an intuitive response dashboard, allowing you to view all the submissions in one place. Whether you want to see individual responses or analyze patterns across multiple submissions, it's all easily accessible. You can even export the data in various formats, including CSV and Excel, making it simple to conduct further analysis or integrate it with other tools for reporting. Additionally, Typeform lets you set up notifications, so you never miss a response. You can choose to receive an email alert every time someone submits a form, keeping you in the loop in real time. This feature is especially handy for time-sensitive forms, like event registrations or customer feedback surveys. With notifications, you can ensure you're on top of all the responses, making it easier to follow up with leads, gather insights, or take action quickly. This combination of real-time data tracking and automated alerts helps you stay organized and responsive, ultimately saving you time and improving your workflow. If you want to make form creation even faster, you can use Typeform's AI-based form creation tool. This feature allows you to create forms based on a prompt. For example, You can ask AI to generate a questionnaire about customer satisfaction or a product feedback form. Typeform will generate a draft, and you can then customize it to your liking. To use AI, just click on the Create with AI button and follow the prompts. It's a great way to speed up the process if you're in a rush or need inspiration for your next form. You've just learned how to create a type form, customize it, and share it with your audience. Whether you're looking to gather feedback, run surveys, or create interactive quizzes, Typeform is a versatile and powerful tool that can help you achieve your goals.